I've been meeting with the superintendents around the state, and I do this on a regular basis, and it gives us an opportunity to really talk about what's going on in education and hear some of their concerns and discuss future initiatives. And obviously, I just left the most wonderful early childhood center here in Tupelo with all these little 4-year-olds, and so that just speaks to my heart about early childhood education and the need for public pre-K because we have very little of it around the state. And you know, the value of having children in 4-year-olds or even 3-year-olds, you know, to have the ability to come into a developmentally appropriate program with a highly qualified teacher and then hand them off to kindergarten would be amazing, because the one thing that we're hearing from our kindergarten teachers, you know, in the latest kids count that was out, that their number one concern is the number of children that are coming to kindergarten not prepared. And even with the kindergarten assessment that we're using for the first time this year across the state, people have been calling in and saying, well, how do we deal with this? Because some of our little ones are coming into kindergarten having little to no computer experience whatsoever. So it just speaks volumes about the need for early childhood. So that's been a part of what I wanted to see as well. And then yesterday we were at Oxford, so I got to see the new high school in Oxford. And that kind of, you know, reminds me, and talk to the superintendents also about the importance of dual enrollment, and a lot of kids that are qualifying for dual enrollment. And that's also, as you know, part of our accountability model that's going to be coming up in terms of acceleration. So how do we get that across the state? Because I've talked to superintendents who have or not where our community colleges are, and how can we do that? And then also the cost variance that children are having to pay. Some are paying as little as $50 a course, and some are paying as much as $1,200 a course. In a state with poverty on the increase in terms of children, it's important that we try and figure out a good policy for that, so that children that don't have to, it's not by zip code, that you could do dual enrollment, wherever you live. So those are pieces. I just handed Chris the packet that I've given the superintendents. We've been reminding them of all the requirements of the Literacy-Based Promotion Act, because this goes into play this year. So any child that's not reading on grade level by the end of 3rd grade will be retained, and there's a whole process that goes into that. But all parents across the state, by law, are to be provided in writing within the first 30 days of school a letter for any child who is deficient in reading, and then listing what the state or what the school intends to do to address those needs. And then there's other pieces of that follow through in terms of children once they are what's expected from the law in terms of their hours of instruction, and then even at the end of the year, children when we talk about retention, there's some good cause exemptions for that, and making sure that the superintendents, you know, were aware of those, and then just kind of being prepared for that.